Lately, there's been a surge in conversations about the possibility of the government sending out $600 checks to American families. With the cost of living rising and many households still feeling the pinch from inflation, the idea of direct payments is gaining traction once again. People across the country are wondering if help is finally on the way, and what it could mean for their day-to-day lives. The American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, which was recently introduced in the Senate, is at the center of this discussion. This bill proposes using new revenue generated from tariffs on imported goods to fund these payments. Lawmakers are debating whether this approach could provide meaningful relief to families while also supporting American industries. The concept is straightforward. Take the extra money collected from tariffs, essentially taxes on goods coming into the country, and return a portion of it directly to the public. Supporters argue that this method not only helps families, but also encourages buying American-made products, potentially boosting the economy from the ground up. The idea first gained national attention when former President Trump floated it in July. Senator Josh Hawley quickly picked up the proposal and turned it into a formal bill, sparking debate among both parties. The plan has since become a hot topic in Washington, with politicians weighing its potential impact and feasibility. If the bill passes, every eligible adult and child could receive at least $600. For a family of 4, that could mean a one-time payment of $2,400, a significant boost for many households struggling to keep up with expenses. These funds could help cover everything from groceries and utility bills to school supplies and medical costs. However, it's important to keep expectations in check. As of August 10, 2025, this is still just a proposal. Congress has not yet approved the bill, and there's no official timeline for when or if these payments might actually arrive. Many families are watching the news closely, hoping for updates but also preparing for the possibility of delays or changes. The legislative process can be slow and unpredictable, with plenty of debates, negotiations, and revisions ahead. Lawmakers will need to iron out the details, address concerns from both sides of the aisle, and ultimately decide whether this plan is the right move for the country. While the prospect of $600 checks is certainly exciting for many, it's wise to stay realistic and patient. The situation is still developing, and there are many factors that could influence the outcome. For now, the best approach is to stay informed and see how things unfold in the coming weeks. Up next, we'll take a closer look at why these rebates are being discussed now, what's driving the renewed interest, and what it could ultimately mean for your wallet and financial future. Why is the idea of tariff rebates suddenly making headlines and stirring up debate in Washington and across the country? There are two major forces at play here. First, the U.S. government is collecting record amounts of money from tariffs. Second, American families are feeling the pinch of rising costs in their everyday lives. In June 2025 alone, the government brought in a staggering $27 billion in customs duties. That's a 301% increase compared to the same month last year, a dramatic surge that's hard to ignore. Over the past 12 months, total tariff collections soared to $113 billion, marking an 86% jump from the previous year. This isn't just a blip, it's a sustained windfall. In fact, this unexpected revenue surge was so significant that it actually pushed the federal budget into a rare surplus, something that hasn't happened in years. Now, some lawmakers, like Senator Hawley, are arguing that this extra money shouldn't just sit in government accounts. They believe it should be returned to the people who are ultimately paying these tariffs. That's the idea behind the American Worker Rebate Act, a proposal designed to send some of this tariff revenue directly back to American households. But there's another side to this story. While tariffs are boosting government coffers, they're also making life more expensive for ordinary Americans. Prices on everyday goods, from groceries to gadgets, are climbing. That's because importers, faced with higher costs due to tariffs, often pass those expenses down the line. So, when you buy electronics, clothes, or even household basics, you're likely paying more than you did before. According to a recent analysis from Yale, these new tariffs could end up costing the average U.S. household as much as $2,400 in 2025 alone, a significant hit to family budgets. The rebate proposal is a direct response to this growing financial burden, aiming to soften the blow for families struggling with higher prices. The logic is simple. If tariffs are raising your costs, then the revenue they generate should help offset those increases, putting money back in your pocket. It's meant to be a circular flow. Money moves from consumers to the Treasury through tariffs, and then, ideally, some of it returns to the people through rebates. Of course, not everyone agrees on whether this approach will truly balance things out. Some experts worry that rebates might not fully compensate for the higher prices, while others question if the system can work as intended. So, how much money is actually on the table? And could these rebates really make a difference for American families? Let's break down the numbers and see what's at stake. The American Worker Rebate Act promises at least $600 per eligible person, adults and dependent children alike. For a family of 4, that's $2,400. A single parent with 1 child would get $1,200. If tariff revenue exceeds projections, the checks could be even bigger. Compared to pandemic-era stimulus checks, this is smaller but still significant. For many, $600 could cover a car payment, groceries, or a utility bill. The goal: offset the estimated $2,400 in extra annual costs for a typical family of 4 due to tariffs. Whether it fully cancels out those costs is debatable, but the message is clear. This is direct relief funded by tariffs. Next, who would actually qualify for these payments? So, who actually qualifies for a check under this proposal? Let's break it down. The plan is designed to be as inclusive as possible, aiming for broad eligibility. Most U.S. adults, along with their dependent children, would be covered. This means that families of all shapes and sizes, from single parents to multi-generational households, could benefit. The main requirement is having a valid Social Security number. If you have one, you're likely eligible, regardless of whether you're currently working, retired, or even receiving Social Security benefits. This includes people who may not have filed taxes recently, as long as they have a Social Security number. However, there are income limits to keep in mind. Payments start to phase out for higher earners. Specifically, the full amount is available to joint filers making up to $150,000 and single filers earning up to $75,000. If your income falls below these thresholds, you'll receive the full payment. This is meant to ensure that those who need help the most get the maximum benefit. For those earning above the limit, the rebate gradually decreases. Specifically, the payment is reduced by 5% for every $100 your income exceeds the threshold. This sliding scale helps target relief more precisely. For example, if you're a single filer making $80,000, your $600 check would be reduced to $350. The more your income exceeds the limit, the smaller your check becomes. This gradual phase-out is designed to direct relief to those most affected by rising costs, like families struggling with higher grocery bills or rent. Ultimately, the system is structured to ensure support is focused on low and middle-income families, helping them manage everyday expenses and unexpected financial challenges. Now, with eligibility explained, let's turn to the next big question. What are the bill's chances in Congress? Is this proposal likely to become reality, or will it face major hurdles on Capitol Hill? Let's take a closer look. The $600 check sounds great, but the odds of it passing are slim. As of mid-August 2025, the bill is new and faces major hurdles in Congress. Even within the Republican Party, support is limited. Some lawmakers oppose more government spending or want tariff revenue used elsewhere, like reducing the national debt. Economists also raise concerns. Injecting billions into the economy could reignite inflation, undermining the relief. Critics argue the rebates don't fix the root problem. Tariffs themselves raise prices. Sending checks may offer temporary help, but doesn't lower costs long-term. Many suggest reforming tariffs or using the money for deficit reduction instead. So, while the debate continues, don't count on a check just yet. Whether or not these checks arrive, it's smart to plan for any windfall. Financial experts agree. Your first move should be paying down high-interest debt, especially credit cards. Credit card debt, with rates often above 20%, drains your finances fast. Using a $600 windfall to pay off this debt is like earning a guaranteed 20% plus return. Every dollar you pay saves you future interest and frees up cash for other goals. List your debts, target the highest interest rate first, and use the debt avalanche method. Direct your windfall to your most expensive debt for maximum impact. This is the fastest way to improve your financial health. Let's see how $600 can make a real difference. Suppose you owe $1,000 on a credit card at 22% interest, making $30 minimum payments. At that rate, it would take 47 months to pay off, costing $410 in interest. But if you use a $600 windfall to pay down the balance, you're left with just $400. Keep making $30 payments, and you'll be debt-free in 15 months, paying only $60 in interest. That's $350 saved and years shaved off your repayment. This isn't just theory, it's a proven way to get ahead. A lump sum payment can break the cycle of high-interest debt. Use windfalls strategically and you'll see real, lasting benefits. What if you're already debt-free? Let's talk about your next best moves. If you're debt-free, use a windfall to build your emergency fund. Experts recommend saving 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield account. Even $600 can jumpstart or boost your safety net, protecting you from future surprises. If your emergency fund is set, consider contributing to retirement, like a 401k or Roth IRA. Thanks to compounding, even small contributions can grow significantly over time. You could also invest in yourself, take a course, start a college fund for your child, or tackle a needed home repair. The key: use extra money for lasting value, not fleeting wants. Plan ahead to make the most of any windfall. The $600 rebate debate is a reminder to plan for unexpected money. Don't wait for a windfall to decide what to do. Make a plan now. If you have high-interest debt, pay it down first. If not, build your emergency fund or invest for the future. Having a plan removes emotion and helps you make smart, lasting choices. Whether or not these checks arrive, financial empowerment comes from intentional decisions. Review your budget, set clear goals, and be ready to act when opportunity knocks. That's how you turn a one-time windfall into long-term financial progress.